Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78 and by way of Jersey, North Carolina, even Wisconsin, and we'll get to that all in a second. But roots perhaps for at least 7 years here in Chicago, working with some of the biggest retailers in the history of the world. I have my friend Philip here. And Philip, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. We were talking a little bit before we started the actual video portion of this, but Philip, you've been in the retail area for a long time. You've been working with inventors, with games, things that sell, and you have a new company right now. Why don't you give us the name of the company and the new game that just came out that you have worked with a Wisconsin inventor for?
Awesome. Sure. Our company is Creative Brainworks. We're an outdoor game company, nonstop on the go gaming. And our newest game that we recently launched is called Riftball. It's a two paddle ball system with two nets. It can be played anywhere. It's fun, nonstop. And then the original concept came from a guy, Charles, in Wisconsin.
So, and as you say that, if anybody spent a minute in Wisconsin, all of a sudden when you see the game, you see how it's played, it makes sense because it's like you could play it. Forgive me, Bears fans, you could play it at a Packer game or a tailgate or Wisconsin game. I mean, it's just meant for that. Or by the lake right after you get out from fishing, back up on by the campfire, you can mess around with that. It seems like such a great thing to do for people and easy to put up and take down.
That's right. That's right. Yep. It can truly, tailgating thing about you, like you said, that any football game, it can be played at the beach along Lake Michigan or along your lake house or cabin, or just bring it to a camping area, picnic area, and you'll get a lot of people up and engaging with it for sure.
And this is just one of the games that your company has. Your company works with inventors to kind of bring their games to market. And that's something that sounds simple, but it's not at all. It's very difficult, right? Especially years ago, you had experience working at Kmart, Sears, Toys R Us. So you know how difficult it could get to be at least at that time to bring something that maybe was a great idea, but fell on deaf ears because the old system was the old system. But given what happened with the pandemic and the digital dependency of shopping nowadays, somehow that has made it a little bit easier and gave you this avenue to push these games out in front of people that will see them with all of your experience, of course, in working with all of those companies prior.
That's right, Tom. So what we're able to do is, one, help the inventor realize their concept and tweaking it a little bit, so then more people are able to enjoy it or enjoy their games. And with the digital age, we're able to really get it in front of the actual end user, which is the game player. So we can, one, get their instant feedback and what they think of it, maybe tweak it and adjust it from there, but bring videos through social media, through discussions like with you, Tom, to really share not only the game, but the whole idea of why we have these outdoor games. And I think I was bringing the term to you, social gaming. And social gaming is just where you're, bringing people standing up outside, having a beverage of your choice, and having some fun with it. Just enjoying being active instead of being just sitting down and not being active.
Right. Not using
no better words than that.
Yeah, not using a screen, using your actual hands.
That's right.
To play, to interact in person.
That's right.
Something that kind of got lost in the last couple of years, and I hope that we're starting to gain it back. And with games like this, it certainly helps, and people getting back outside and the whole thing. But the company that you work for started off with a take on bags, right? That was the original game. Why don't you explain that whole process?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, original concept of the company came from our hero, our top items called beanbag buckets. Think about it's cornhole meets frisbee golf. It's a towering, we're the first original buckets game out there as far as tossing beanbags into a tower of buckets. And it's very interactive. You can actually play solo to practice, or you can play with up to 16 people because we have 16 bags. So we have various games with it. It's collapsible. I call it, it's this, you can collapse it down to the size of a camp chair, but it's a lot more lighter and a lot more fun. Yeah.
And this is definitely something you can do for like a family reunion when you're at a park for sure, or a couple people at the beach, like you were saying.
That's right.
But a lot of fun. And that is Creative Brainworks. And when you go on the site, you have the different things that you have your company as it pushed out to the world. And the people on the site are the inventors. Is that right? Like, you know, you call them the brain. You used the word earlier. What did we were
Brain trust. So
yeah.
we have a few different concepts from our brain trust, actually. So we have an item we call Roto Brain, and it's actually, to me, it's one of the best, coolest three-dimensional puzzles out there. It's Rubik's Cube meets a padlock combination.
Oh, right.
And that came from a guy, Corey, out of Detroit. And then we have another one that's a wooden three-hole concept set. It's really the first wooden three-hole cornhole game in the United States. That come from an older gentleman in the Jersey area. And we have that one, the wooden three-hole cornhole set. And then we had this one that we launched through with Charles, Riftball. So we're bringing more and more as we get ideas from inventors. Now, there's a lot of inventors, a lot of people that have great concepts. You know, we can't get to them all, but there's a select few based upon, you know, what we're trying to bring to people and what we think makes sense for them that we pull through for people. And then we have some other concepts of course, on our own.
And these are things that are easily accessible for people just by way of the way social media has changed. I know we talked about putting the social media down, but in a lot of ways, it's helped launch the company. The pandemic, when everybody was online looking at everything, right? And then able to make videos, put them out on social media, have a place like, I know that some of the Riftball is for sale on Amazon, which is a game changer versus years ago, where you used to have to like present it to the retailers and beg and wish that they would pick up your product, versus now Amazon could be a place, or even your own website, where you're just pushing things out on social media and people find it organically.
That's right. Yeah. So now we're able to, like you said, is utilize these different channels to reach the right audience members. Let them vote on what they think is right, instead of potentially, you know, we have very good partners with some large retailers across this country. But it's also great to be able to just be online and share the video content to show people that truly anyone can play it. We have some of our games, and I'll give you an idea, from preschools in the school systems to nursing homes, right?
Wow.
So that's why I say everyone can play it. Now, of course, you know, our target audience and our thought of our game process is the college age kids, right? Because if they think it's fun, they enjoy it, then truly everyone will play it, right? And that's what I mean by the preschools to the nursing homes, because the nursing homes use it for therapy, preschools use it for, you know, color coding and number and counting. So we're in school systems, but you know, the true art of the game is you can play it indoors, many of our games, and outdoors. You know, they're primarily set for outdoors, but you can bring them indoors because we make them safe in that manner as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the people that are the inventors that if you worked with, you had somebody out of Wisconsin, Detroit, Jersey. So they're all so far based in America, and a heavy influence of the Midwest, which I feel like the Midwest, man, we come up with some really fun games for the rest of the world. And, you know, that's even going back to like, you know, stuff for bowling and pool tables. They made all that stuff here in Chicago years and years ago. They've made the bars, they did boats, they're actually up in Wisconsin now. But it just seems like it's a good set because we appreciate summertime and the scarcity of how long that is. So you got to take advantage when you're outside and playing around.
That's right. I remember back in 2005, I was a toy buyer for Kmart and Sears. And a district manager contacted me. I think it was out of Southern Ohio. And they're like, you need to bring this game to market. I go, what's the game? They go, they call it cornhole. Right. And this is before it blew up. This is so, of course, right away, I went online, did some research and figured out what the cornhole concept was, figure out the game pattern. And I went out to China and sourced it and brought it in. And what was interesting was I brought it in, I think it was in 2006, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
No one else in the country knew what cornhole was.
No,
So
I remember I was in college at that time.
right.
Ish.
So, guess what happened to the item? It bombed. So think about, that's what I was talking about. I think we were chatting a little earlier about being ahead of where consumers' mindsets are. We had it out there, and then this was the official board, and I was at like $79. And it was the 4-foot official board. I want to make sure it was regulation size. And it bombed. And so at the end of the year, we marked it out. 4 months later, it blew up, and the sporting goods buyer bought it, and he had a great year.
Oh,
Just timing. And that's really how, retail used to be. It was a much slower process, but now with social media, you have a great item, you can share it and people recognize it right away. And that's the benefit of really today's ability for people to see new things.
right. And now you just have to be able to push it out. If it catches fire like that, you got to make sure you have enough to push out, which is a good problem to have, I suppose. But
yeah,
I mean, I could talk to you forever. A fascinating story just on your career itself with working for Sears, Toys R Us, Kmart. I mean, all gigantic brands back up until they weren't really, but I mean, they were everything to this country for so long. You either went there to get your games, your butter, your whatever, you know what I mean? You got everything, your pair of pants from Sears, you know what I mean? Kmart had everything. So it's fascinating talking to you. People, the best way for them to buy it, where would you like them to go to buy the products?
Well, you can go to Creative Brainworks LLC.com. You can find us on Amazon, Bass Pro, Sharper Image, Shields. There's a lot of different sites. We have many of our items across many different platforms. So, B3 games, Riftball, beanbag buckets, Roto Brain. We're proud of them all. Hopefully, as we see more and more people resonate and see what kind of games and people play them, that's what it's about.
Well, Philip, thanks again for chatting with me. I do appreciate it. I can't wait to get my hands on a game and start playing. And I'll be one of those people that puts it up on social media for everybody to check out, including this video here. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Tom, thank you. Appreciate it.